So this was me watching last night's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, trying my hardest to figure out why I am not having the level of joy as I'm watching that I should be having. I mean, Atlanta was, one of my perennial favorites. It has always been that staple that you knew was going to deliver something. Okay. But what is that something that's being delivered to us right now? And as I thought about it, I really thought to myself, last night's episode is indicative of the problems that I'm having overall in general with the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So I think I figured it out. Okay. So let's get into it, right? I'm gonna rate this episode on a scale of 1 to 10, and I'm gonna rate it a 6. Okay. Now y'all know I usually like to be lenient because I feel like the people do the work. Productions show up, they film. I know these people when they are, the production crews, they work hard. I mean, it's a long and tedious job. Okay. And I tried my hardest to acknowledge that. All right. But today I got to really talk about some things that I think might be wrong with this show. And again, they were all featured last night. I feel like what happened last night is representative of what is wrong with this show. Number one, you got all the half the cast members is sick. Now, listen, if you got that many people sick and can't make it to a cast trip, first of all, was this the first cast trip of the season? Was this what that was supposed to be? Or was this just a visit? Because if it was, this is about as bad as Marlo's trip from the year before, okay? When everybody then left. Everybody left early from this trip. Okay? That's what this season is feeling like a bad trip. It's feeling like a bad trip. Half the people sick, can't show up to work. You know what I'm saying? If Kandi got this event scheduled over here, Kenya just coming off a sick leave, Marlo hacking up along, Drew in the hospital. Okay. What's the point? I mean, as much as I would like to say, oh my God, Kenya had this amazing thing planned and we're gonna film it. She didn't even film. She didn't even do the event that she actually went there to do. Now, granted, she could not help that. Okay. You're sick, you're sick. But it's like, let's look at the schedule. Does this make sense for everybody? It probably don't. Okay, this might have been just one thing that might have been okay to take just, her and Monyetta go down there. Okay, let them do a little bonding. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like, number one, it just don't, the group is, okay, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. Okay, I can't even get the words out. So to me, this feels like a bad trip where everybody's not even really involved. You know what else is indicative of this current climate of Real Housewives of Atlanta? And see, I try to look at Atlanta for what it is now, not what it used to be. Okay, so that's another reason why sometimes I try to rate it as I give them some grace because I know this ain't what it used to be. Now, I don't know what my expectations are at this point because I had zero expectations when I was watching Atlanta back in the day, other than, oh, this is going to entertain me. You know what I'm saying? But now I feel like maybe my expectations are too high. Maybe that's just it. But it's a couple of things that factor into that. And I got to talk about a couple of more things. The other thing that you had going on was interesting and quite telling was you had Kenya who didn't even know that it was Sonya on the phone speaking to her. Now, granted, she was on speakerphone and there was probably a lot of talking going on and a lot of background noise and whatnot that they might have edited out of the audio. But at the end of the day, it's representative to me of what the general population feels about Sonya. They don't even know why you here. And that's not a knock to her per se. It's a knock to her casting in this group of ladies. I am sure Sonya is great, but is she great for this group? That's something we got to look at. Okay. The other thing is we also got to acknowledge there's an issue with Marlo. And Sheree said it best. She's looking for Kenya's approval. So she will kick and bang down doors to get it. And Marlo, if I had known that you was going to act all out like this, I don't know that it was a good idea to give you the peach. Okay? I don't. Because you served a better purpose when you were merely a friend. Now, you do give some saucy confessionals, and I do enjoy that, but some of the antics that you are providing are completely unnecessary, okay? It's almost like she took what she did as a friend and she is magnifying that, and we don't need that. So being a housewife requires you got to know when to pull back. It's a fine line you got to walk, and that's why it ain't for everybody. Okay, let's talk about also the other issue we have. Now, if they say Marlo mumbles, then they muting Monietta, okay? Because I feel like, do they turn Monietta's mic down every time she speak? Because even when she's going at it with Marlo, I feel like, girl, what is you saying? I think y'all arguing, but I don't know what you got. I don't know what your responses are. And if I got to read the subtitles like a teleprompter, I mean, what am I taking notes for? Because I take notes. I told you I'll be taking notes like a secretary, okay? Because I like to get all in the nooks and crannies. That's just me, okay? I know everybody don't like to do that, but I like to get in the nooks and the crannies. It just helps me, okay? It just helps keep me focused when I'm talking, okay? So that's another issue. You got Monietta Shaw with this big backstory of being with Neo, the kids, and all of that. And you got somebody who is etched in Atlanta, steeped in Atlanta, okay? And I mean, I'm talking Atlanta. And that's evidence from watching A1 and Monietta on Speak On It. If you ain't watched that, go watch that, and you see what I'm talking about. Monietta, you need people on this show. I want people who are Atlanta, okay? Now, Monietta, to me, I feel like she represents, to me, old school housewives. Somebody that's got the coin, gonna keep it classy, okay? But y'all got to stop muting her, all right? Y'all got to stop muting her. And Monietta, you start telling everybody how you feel, okay? I see you. We'll talk about it in another video, but I see you let Kenya have it online, okay? You ain't really let her have it, but you called her out, all right? But so I'm gonna need y'all to stop muting Monietta. And the final thing, and I told y'all last week we missing the spirit of Atlanta, so I'm not gonna belabor the point this week, okay? But producers, I respect y'all. I love y'all for what y'all do. And I just gotta say, we need to make a correction. We can't produce Atlanta like we produce Potomac. We cannot. The antics of Marlo kicking and banging on the door and people just saying whatever they want to say, okay, without consequence. We can watch Potomac for that. And quiet as it's kept, the audience has grown weary of that over there. Okay. So we definitely don't want it in Atlanta because it's missing the flavor of Atlanta. See, the issue with Potomac is there's no real identity to it. Hold on, listen to me as I'm saying this, because I feel like I'm not talking about in real life. I'm talking about as the show presents it, right? Because Potomac, I mean, are we really Real Housewives of DC? And is this representative of DC? I don't think so. I mean, what they're showing, right? The thing that most seems to be representative of Potomac is, ooh, what their husband doing on the side. hoochie. You know what I'm saying? That to me seems more representative of Potomac than the feeling of that you get from diamonds and rosé in Beverly Hills, from snow-capped mountains in Salt Lake City, from the beach and the warmth of Miami, from the fast pace of New York to the spray tans and Jersey Shore of New Jersey. Atlanta is the A. Put some respect on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, dang, give me, I want to feel like I'm in Atlanta in the strip clubs. I want you to take me from Buckhead to the strip club to the studio. I want to see that. I want to see the diamonds and stuff like that. Give me, I mean, the rappers. I mean, again, it ain't got to be loving hip hop, okay? But give me the feeling that when I'm listening to the old Jermaine Dupri produced records, that's how I want to feel. Okay. Again, watch the speak on it, and you will see what I'm saying. A1 places a call to the artist that sings, that raps, hey baby, hey baby. And he got on the phone and he's talking about Monyetta. That's the type of stuff I want to see. Okay. And I shouldn't be getting more enjoyment from the speak on it, from the interviews, from the recaps than I am the show. Okay. So again, if you know half your cast can't make it to the trip, this ain't the trip. Let's talk about this trip. Let's get into it. And I'm sorry, these are points that I had to make. This is how I recap, and so you deal with it. So anyway, we start back with Marlo banging on the door. I mean, just ever so inappropriately. I mean, I can't can you picture Nene kicking and banging and scraping on somebody's door? And then Sheree, you ain't no better, okay? Because you gon' inch your heel up on that door and rap on it too. Y'all knew that this girl might have had her baby in her room. Nobody was that sensitive to it. Sheree, you are not Kenya's friend. You are not Marlo's friend, because you will throw Marlo under the bus. You done told us that Marlo wants Kenya's approval, which we can see. Okay. Also, Sheree, you got to start holding yourself accountable, because you can't remember nothing you do. All right. You acting a little too much like Drew now. First, second season Drew. And I'm gonna need you to pull it together. But you look good in that yellow. You look very good in that yellow. Okay. So Marlo is mad at everybody, and then there's a Monyetta and Marlo argument. But again, is Monyetta muted? Is her mic on? Like, because I can barely hear what she's saying. She's saying something. It could be valuable, but I don't know. Okay. They get off the elevator and Marlo slams. First of all, why is Marlo so upset that Kenya is not around? That's another thing. Girl, it's 9 p.m. I'm sure y'all been filming all day. If y'all want to go out somewhere, go the heck out. All of them are upset because they don't know why they're there. Okay, they don't know why they're here. Does it matter? You're on a cash trip. You are here to film. I mean, what else is it? What you upset because you don't know the exact details? Go with the flow, girl. Go with the flow. I mean, like, seriously. Y'all, it's 9 p.m. If the woman wants to dismiss herself, she can dismiss herself. Keep the drama going amongst yourselves. You don't need her in order to have a good time. It's like if Kenya's missing, it's like, what are we gonna do? It's like Marlo's battery is going haywire. Girl, like, let it go. The woman want to go to bed. She grown. Ain't nobody got to answer to you. So after Marlo gets off the elevator and she slams the big heavy door, because they want us to know this door was big and heavy, but it wasn't so big and heavy that she couldn't slam it in Monyetta's face, and she knows she did it. And then it's mind-boggling to me that Sheree and Courtney are going to be like, Marlo didn't do that to her. She didn't do that. And Courtney's just like, I mean, girl, like, come on now. Come on. All right. And Monietta, I think, was going off on her, but again, her mic is so low, I don't know what she's saying. Now, either Monietta's a low talker or the mic is off. I'm convinced something's going on because I think she was going off. Because Marlo got the running. Now, I mean, it's the truth. Marlo did get the running. She got the running outside. Now she outside screaming about something and want her food. And Courtney got to go comfort her and stuff like that. They called Kenya, and Kenya was like, "Why y'all banging at the door?" Now, what we know from the Instagram and from the speak on it is that Monietta text Kenya and said, "Girl, they on their way up to your room." Okay. Now, and Monietta told us also in the speak on it, I tried to tell them the baby might be around, but they didn't care. And they run up to the room like wild hyenas. All right. So Sonya wants to know what's going on. You know, she gets on the speakerphone. Sonya wants to know. She big dog. She want to know what's going on. She want to know what's going on. Again, indicative of what's really going on here. I mean, you know, Kenya's like, Sonya, just go home. And I felt like, girl, you probably just said the word of the season. Sonya, just go home. Because while I like Sonya, don't get me wrong. Do not mistake me. Like, I'm not coming down on this lady because I respect what she has accomplished. But is it right? Is she right for this show? No. No. Just give her her own show on another network. You know, I mean, I want people to work, so I don't ever want nobody to be without pay. So I ain't trying to say like, you know, girl going to the unemployment line because I know she got the gigs, right? And she got a family to feed. But at the end of the day, is it good for the show? No, no. Again, it's indicative. It's indicative. Even Kenya's like, girl, go home. I don't need you here. Actually, she don't want nobody there but the people that are closest to her, and that's what, Monietta and Sheree. Girl, Sheree ain't your friend either. Anyway, Sonya lets Marlo and Courtney know she's leaving, and so Marlo ends up texting Kenya. Like, I'm like, how she get her number? I thought they didn't have each other's number, so that's interesting. Maybe she got it from production. And she texts her a nasty message. You're rude, selfish, seek help, rude, be. And I'm like, Marlo, this therapy is not working for you. This therapy is not working for you. Actually, what we need to be talking about in therapy for you is probably why you are so in need of Kenya's approval. And furthermore, you talked to, I think it was Carlos King, about how the girls used to treat you and how they used to tell you when you were a friend of the show that they weren't going to give you anything. That's very interesting to me. And that goes a lot into, again, another issue that I feel like I have with Marlo. Because Marlo is also saying the same thing to Monietta. So you're trying to do to her what they did to you, allegedly. Make it make sense to me. Make it make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, you're on a television show. Everybody's here to make moments. Whether you want to admit it or not, that's why you all are here. Okay. And you are desperately trying to make moments with someone who still does not want to make moments with you. So you should at least make moments with the willing. Here's your opportunity. Make moments with her. But make them make sense. Okay. And turn Monietta's mic up. Drew, meanwhile, ended up in the hospital from all the dancing, the singing. I hope it won't the echo when she was doing that Candace's show, okay? And the studio time. Oh, it's just so much. So much. She's doing so much in the studio. She's like Beyonce, you know? I mean, preparing for the Renaissance tour. And it just tired her out, okay? Either that or she tired of Ralph. But anyway, she apparently, you know, had some type of sickness, all right? Meanwhile, Todd and Kandi, you know, Todd is trying to have, Todd wants Kandi's help. Okay. Let's boil it down to that. Todd is working on the movie, okay, about giving the people the hall pass in a relationship. Now, that's interesting to me. I would like to know more about that. But it's sidelined because Kandi ain't paying no attention. She on the phone. Because Kandi's booked and busy. That seems like a real issue they got to work through. I would like to see them talk about that in therapy. But they got to talk about Mama Joyce. Mama Joyce is still on this hate train for Todd. Okay, maybe it's not a hate train because Todd surmises that maybe it's just that she's playing into something that she feels like the fans will enjoy, which is her being the, sassy mother-in-law. Now that was an interesting thought as well. Okay, we'll talk more about that later. Down to the Birmingham, Drew calls cousin Courtney. It's so great that there's it's so great when you find family, in just the oddest of situations. It's like you can just find family anywhere. I would still like to know how they're related. Show me the family tree, since we cousins. I mean, it's a shame though because Courtney cannot seem to recall how they're cousins. Isn't that odd? So Marlo's on the phone with the life coach about why Kenya has so much control over her girl, because you are a giving obsessed, okay? And if you leave Kenya alone, you might actually thrive on the show like we want you to or wanted. Because right now, I mean, you are kind of like public enemy number one. So get it together. And honestly, the life coach ain't coaching in this instance, or at least you ain't paying attention. Let me not say that because I don't want to disrespect that woman. Strike that from the record. Lord, forgive me. Forgive me, Miss Life Coach. She ain't paying attention to you. You wasting your time. All right, so 9 o'clock or 9 p.m. a.m. sometime, Kenya informed production that the show cannot go on. Oh, she's sick. She's got the fever. Okay, she's not able to shoot. 911 call. She's dizzy, having a hard time breathing, feeling the weight of everything she's going through with the panorama. The numbness is in her left arm. The list goes on and on. And it's just like, that's again, it's like a metaphor for this season. I can't really do this right now. That's what it feels like. Honestly, that's what it feels like for everybody. I don't feel like I can't do it today. I'm sick. Get somebody else to do it. So anyway, thank goodness Marlo's reading her Bible, because Sheree got to get everybody together and Marlo leads the prayer. Ain't that interesting? You just went from kicking this lady's door, screaming about how her daughter should be thrown in another room, to singing the praises of the Lord. If anybody should have been doing the prayer, it should have been Monietta, okay? Definitely not Courtney. Sure enough, not Sheree. Okay? But listen, we'll take the Lord's word how we can get it. All right? We learned that Monietta's mom passed in July, but we ain't got much time to really digest that because we got to move on. Suddenly Marlo is ready to make up with Monietta. Oh, we've just been fighting over stupid stuff. I didn't mean to slam that door in your face. Actually, I didn't slam it. The door was heavy. And so the rest of the girls try to gaslight her into thinking that the door was indeed too heavy for Marlo to push. And so as she has arms open wide for a warm embrace from Monietta, Monietta's like, girl, you be doing too many disrespectful things to me. Finally, I felt like they turned on her mic for a second. But they do indeed hug it out. So at that point, they just decide they're going to leave. Now, I'm like, ain't nobody going to maybe ride back with Kenya or something? No, they just pack up and they about to go. They tried, apparently Sheree told them that she had a fever of 102 and they was trying to do some more tests. But Marlo said when she called, they had already dismissed her. So I'm like, can you leave early? Again, a metaphor for the season. Things are happening, and half of our people, half of our star players have hit the freeway. I can't be bothered. Get somebody else to do it. Get somebody else to do it. And so what we're left with are Marlo, who is like, I mean, Marlo is rolling on a river for this peach. You know what I'm saying? Rolling, rolling, rolling on a river. I mean, and the version with Ike, okay, like Ike is chasing her or something like that, okay? Also, you got Courtney, cousin Courtney, who we just met. Monietta, who y'all keep muting, and Sheree. Give me what I was promised, okay? Like, give me what I was promised. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Sonya's feelings are hurt by Kenya. Sheree goes to visit Kenya. They talk about, you know, all the things that was wrong with Kenya. They recap Marlo kicking the door. Sheree can't defend that. Sheree even maintains to the producer that, you know, because he called her out about it. And he was like, I'm a lady and I did not kick that door. But yes, you did, girl. Yes, you did. That's when we learned that Sheree says Marlo wants Kenya's approval. The best part of the scene was baby Brooklyn arriving home from karate. All right. Kenya checks in with Sheree about her fibroids. You know, Sheree wants to do the natural way to heal. I'm interested in hearing more about that as well, because again, these would be moments that I felt like the audience can learn something that maybe they wouldn't have learned before. Like, tell me more about this healing journey, right? Mama Joyce stops by Kandi's. Again, everybody has got a cold right now in Atlanta. It might not have been a good time to film. Okay. Um, the conversation turns to what Mama Joyce said about Todd at BravoCon. And at the end of the day, Mama Joyce feels like she just wants somebody that's going to teach Ace how to take out the trash. Todd, you ain't taking out the trash down there. Y'all ain't got somebody to take out the trash. It seems like y'all might have some type of servant or something like that to take out the staff to take out the trash. You know, all these things going on. Why ain't you teaching that boy how to take out the trash? And also, you know, that's not going to the strip club. And Kandi's like, no, wait a minute. I'm in the strip club too. All right. I'm in there too. And so, you know, but Kandi, I'm gonna give her props because I was like, girl, you going mighty soft because I thought you said you was not gonna be passive this time. You going mighty soft. But she did deliver a gentle blow to Mama Joyce. She did. Because she asked her, where's your man? You so into what a man should be doing. But where is your man? Then that was a very good question right there. That was a very good question. Mama Joyce said, I ain't got one. Kandi, aha. You will be going to therapy with us. And Mama Joyce agrees. Finally, I mean, it's only been how many seasons? I don't know why y'all haven't been to therapy before, okay? This is it. Do it. And I need to see Iyanla. I don't want to see Dr. Sharon. Sorry, boo, because what you're doing with Marlo, we still got to do some work on that. I don't want to see Dr. Ken, okay? Nope. I don't want to see the doctor from down in the Huntsville. Nope. I want to see Iyanla. Because I feel like the only person Mama Joyce gonna listen to is Iyanla. I don't care what y'all gotta pony up and pay her. I don't care if you have to film it all over again. But it needs to be Iyanla. Y'all remember Iyanla made that person, somebody on the show, go and dig up a grave for themselves? Y'all remember that? That type of stuff Iyanla be doing, okay? I want to see what she gonna cook up for them. She might put them all in the strip club and say, "This is what your daughter is doing in the strip club, along with her husband." Oh God. Kenya takes Drew and Sheree for a vitamin drip because everybody's sick. That's what this show needs, a vitamin drip. See, everything on this show is a metaphor for what's wrong with it or how to fix it. This show needs a vitamin drip. Now, what that is hard to say, but I think we're on to something here. Okay. So, Sheree wants to dive right in to the issues. Drew did a podcast where she basically said that Sheree took back all the gifts that she had given them at all the She Bought Sheree she had given them at the reunion. So apparently Drew was exaggerating. Okay. Um, although it wasn't hard to believe, okay, but apparently there was a pocketbook that Drew wanted that says She Bought Sheree on it. And Sheree said, "Girl, that was my pocketbook. You wanted my pocketbook with my personal stuff in it?" So that's what Drew was mad at. Okay. I ain't mad at it. All right. Let's go with it. So then they get into Drew's call with Kenya about Marlo going in on her because she didn't say the word pow pow after confronting Kandi about what happened in her restaurant to her cousin. And there's some scuttlebutt about whether Marlo was standing over Drew or if Drew was standing over Marlo. We do know that at one point Drew was standing, Marlo was sitting. At one point, Marlo was standing right over top of her because she's much taller than Drew. And she was screaming in her face. So as the story about Marlo's nephew comes up about why she's so upset, Kenya is like the rest of us. What does that have to do with Kandi? And so at that point, Sheree tries to explain, well, Kandi didn't even send flowers to the funeral. For whatever reason, Kenya wants to know if Drew gave cousin Courtney, excuse me, Kenya's number. Drew says that she did not, but apparently Courtney is having some type of activity. And then this, I'm sure, will be featured next week. And so Sheree says that the group in Alabama vowed to stay in a good place. And Kenya's like, well, that all depends on who shows up as we get not really flashbacks, but flashes of scenes from next week where we get Kandi wanting to choke Marlo, but maintaining her composure enough not to, and Kenya bringing up Marlo, doing what she did to the lady's face. Okay. We'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. It's not a cash trip. There's a plus. Anyway, let me know what y'all thought about this episode, and I will catch y'all in the next. You know what? May God bless you on your journey.